What's going on, everybody? I think everything's good. Cool, cool. Another little impromptu live here on Hump Day. Um, don't expect anybody here probably to be on the live, so I'll jump into it in just a second. But hopefully, everybody had an awesome. I was almost ready to say Thanksgiving, but it's a little bit too early for that, and then I caught myself. So hope everyone had an awesome Halloween. Enjoyed some trick or treating. Maybe you watched Hocus Pocus, some good scary movies. Always love this time of year. Except I hate the cold, but fall with playoff baseball, football. Usually the weather's pretty nice, so always enjoy the time around Halloween. But with that being said, I'll dive right in. I'll try to keep this super short. This has been catalyst did. Not sure if that's a word, but you know what I mean. By a few recent conversations that I've had with clients and what I've shared with them that might be useful for you as well. And you read things about this in personal development and self-help books. Also, I've worked with two actual clinical therapists, mental health counselors, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure about the nuances of titles and things. And I've worked with two or three mindset coaches as well. And this is part of what I've learned and what I've seen it myself in my personal life, and then experience in working with so many clients over the last 6-7 years as well. But on some of these recent calls that I have with clients, there seems to be dots that can be connected for those that are struggling with staying consistent in nutrition, consistent with working out, consistent with communicating with their coach, showing up on calls, being responsive, checking the boxes and doing the right things. When someone is struggling there, and then I do finally connect with them on a call, they're typically all over the place. And what I mean by this is I get on the call, be like, and sometimes this is how I view them in Zoom and like what they're saying. They're like, yeah, I've been sick. My daughter has this, and I had this for work, and then I had to go here, and oh my gosh, we're taking me husband and me, or we're taking a 3-day weekend getaway, and work dropped this project on me, and sometimes I'm not lying. They give, like, I feel like their energy transfers to me, and then I feel my stress and anxiety, raise a few notches as well. And there's nothing bad about being in that state. I find myself in that probably once or twice a week, and you've maybe seen that on different calls with me or when you interacted with me. Sometimes I'm chill as a cucumber, and sometimes I feel like, a cat that you're withholding catnip from, right? And oftentimes in my experience, a lot of that stress, a lot of that pressure, that angst, that anxiety, even depression, a lot of that is coming from this feeling of being out of control. When you're out of control in your life and you feel like you're not in the driver's seat, that is oftentimes when you're in the highest stressed levels possible. You're anxious, your energy's all over the place, you feel lethargic, you feel tired, motivation sinks, is this feeling of being out of control. And I understand in life there's a lot of things that are out of your control. You can't control having a terrible boss at times. You can't control your kids getting sick, you getting sick. You can't control holidays, work schedule, the weather. There's all these things that are outside of your control. So it's not about controlling every single aspect of your life. A part of life and part of the fun of it is the journey in itself, right? And if life was 100% predictable, life wouldn't really be that much fun. It really wouldn't be worth living if you know exactly how things were going to end up, of course, right? So, but what I feel like is important, and this kind of comes back to the post that I made in here Sunday, is first off, accepting that things are going to be, there's going to be some things in life that are outside of your control, which is okay. That's life. That was what makes life worth living. But that said, what I do feel like is really important is what happens is you use these things and circumstances and things that pop up that are outside of your control, and gets you so stressed, so anxious, that you stop doing or stop checking the boxes with the things that you can control. Right? Like, oh my God, I can't work out today because my daughter's sick, or I can't get to the gym because, oh, I got this project, this bomb my boss dropped on me that I have to get done by 5 p.m. today. And then everything else goes by the wayside. But I do believe what's important and the actionable takeaway that you can implement, in, like I said on Sunday, is consistently taking inventory, auditing, looking at your life. Specifically here, obviously we're talking about health and fitness, and taking true inventory of the things that you can control in your life. And obviously, it's my priority to get you to be able to control the things that you can in your health and fitness, myself and the coaches and yourself. But this can be used in all facets of life as well. But what I mean by taking inventory is taking, 5 or 10 minutes and sitting down and list the things that you can control in your life. And this might be, getting your workout in. This might be when you go to bed, when you wake up, the food that you're eating, things you do on a daily basis that are within your control. And when you keep those commitments and promises to yourself and you're actually following through on those things that you can control, you'll notice that your stress, your anxiousness will diminish quite substantially, because you feel like you're back in control of your life versus life controlling you. Let me bring this from the abstract to reality here. Is I was having a conversation with a client earlier this week that just moved from an old house to a new place. And they moved, a couple weeks ago. And obviously, I can speak from experience. You all probably can as well. You've moved probably once in your life. It is very stressful. All the little things that you have to do, change your address on your debit and credit cards, with the mailbox, driver's license. And then that's just like the admin type things, the actual physical moving. And, oftentimes I was joking with her, you don't take all the condiments and spices and, kitchen utensils and things to a new place. You just always go and buy new things. So you find yourself missing a lot of things. And she was kind of in this fight or flight mode, or flying by the seat of her pants for a couple weeks. And because of that, what happened? Obviously, she wasn't very consistent with her working out. Her nutrition did a complete 180. She had been doing so well, and then it was kind of all over the place. And a lot of times, like with nutrition, if you're just making choices and decisions based on how you feel in that moment and what's most convenient, you tend to not make the best decisions, right? So what I said with her is, like, I understand you just moved. I understand that comes with challenges. I understand you're working on furnishing your new place. You have things that you have to do, like the examples that I mentioned. But let's talk about what you can control. The reason that you struggle nutrition wise and with the working out is because you feel out of control in some aspects of your life right now. And then this is going by the wayside because you're stressed, you're anxious, you're in this fight or flight mode, like, oh my God, I got to get my apartment organized, I got to get everything, all my ducks in a row, and then I'll work out, and then I'll eat healthy. And part of it is organization and planning and having some type of plan. But I said you feel out of control right now in your health and fitness. And the actionable step here, which I'm getting to, is we just had a conversation about this weekend, take an hour or less and develop a game plan as far as your nutrition goes. Because in speaking with her, she didn't even know where the nearest grocery store was. She'd just been going to sounded like a convenience store or something that was near her new place. And I just said, you're going to feel like you're back in control of your life, or control, especially within your health and fitness, specifically your nutrition, by sitting down and retaking that power and having control of your nutrition. And then once you do that, things will exponentially get better. So I said, first and foremost, sit down, pull up Google, look at the grocery stores that were in 10 or 15 minutes of you, so you know what's available, how far they are, where they're at. If you're really busy right now with the move still, maybe it doesn't make sense to actually take the time to go to the grocery store. Maybe it makes sense to have things delivered. Yeah, you might have to pay an extra $5 or $10, but typically when people get groceries delivered, they don't buy some of the things that they buy in store because you're not thinking about it. It's easy to walk down an aisle and be like, "Oh, I need that." Excuse me, like joke. I need that, or that looks good, or yeah, I need this, right? You end up spending more when you physically go there versus getting things delivered where you're doing it in front of a computer. You don't have the senses of smell and your eyes and stuff to see things. So I told her to take 10-15 minutes, research grocery stores, get groceries delivered so you're not just going to the convenience store when you're hungry and grabbing things, because she wasn't making the best decisions there. So I told her to do that this weekend, which will help her take back control of her nutrition. You order food for the week, kind of plan out meals. And then also too, we talked about using some type of meal prep service. HelloFresh, MegaFit meals, Factor meals. There's hundreds, out there. But I just said, another way that you can feel control is you don't need to use these meal prep services for every single meal of the day, but maybe if you just use them for lunch or you just use them for dinner, right? And get, a week or two worth of meals so you have a plan, and that will feel like you're taking back control again and take away some mental bandwidth, where if you get those delivered in the next day or two, it's like, okay, in my head, I don't have to worry about lunch for the next 2 weeks because I know I have meals prepared and ready to go. Okay. So I'll stop there because we're getting on the 11-minute point, but hopefully there's a few key takeaways here. But to recap, if you're in a place where you're very stressed out and you feel like mentally you're all over the place, I can almost bet you or promise you with 99-degree certainty it's because in different aspects of your life you're out of control, which is fine. Remove shame or guilt. That's life, and that's what makes life fun and spontaneous, right? The challenges, the adversity. If it wasn't for that, why would we be here? I don't want to get too philosophical, but take time to take inventory and audit of like, okay, what can I actually take control back over in my life, and address those things hands on and face on, because when you take back control of those, that's going to give you your power back. And you can't take back control and control every aspect of your life, what I'm saying, but just focus on the things that you can control. Put pen to pad, make out a list of things. Obviously here, like I said, our biggest priority is we're talking about your health and fitness, but look at the things that you can control there. Yes, your daughter's sick and you can't go to the gym because you can't leave her home on her own because she's sick, right? And she's sleeping. I get that. But that doesn't necessarily mean you can't do a quick 10-15 minute workout at home. That doesn't mean you can't take some time, maybe go for a quick walk while she's napping because she's sick, and she can, stay in bed for half hour by herself. She's sleeping anyway. I don't know. Maybe do a little bit of mobility. Maybe you have a bike or a treadmill. It doesn't mean you can't get on that for 15-20 minutes, right? Just because you can't get into the gym doesn't mean, well, shoot, my daughter's sick today, I can't move my body or do anything. That's a false belief. That's a false reality. You can do a little something, and doing a little something again shows you that you can control your circumstances. Your circumstances don't control you. So something to think about. I've seen this pop up a lot here recently. And oftentimes when I share things, it's things that are important for me to hear myself as well, because I get into those fight or flight modes when I have stress, anxiousness. I feel like I'm out of control of things. We as humans don't like to feel that way, which leads to the stress, the anxiousness, the fight or flight. So take back that power, take back those things that you can control, and I promise you things will get better, especially if you're making a conscious effort to take back control of things that you can control in your health and fitness. Take control of the controllables. But I promise you also with that, your stress, your anxiousness, your mindset, your fight or flight mode will diminish as well when you feel like you're back in control of the things that you can be in control of. And I know I've said that probably 100 times now, but that was the point of this, is to drive that home. So that's that. Hopefully that was helpful. Give you something to think about here the rest of the week. Approaching a new month. This month could be the best month you've ever had in your life. That's the great thing about a new month, right? And your brain's going to tell you stories of like why this isn't going to be the best month, but there's a possibility that this could be literally the best month of your life. It's November 1st. You can think of all the reasons why it won't be or can't, but I'm sitting here saying there's the possibility that this could be the best life. You know, you could be better in your fitness, you could be better in your financials, you could be better in your career, as a mom, as a partner. You can't argue that. It's possible, right? So do the things that you need to do to make it a great month. We'll see you in the next one. We'll see you guys. Peace.